Hello, moviegoers! It's time for another episode of CritiCarter, the show where I turn you into a cinephile. After a long absence, I'm finally reviewing the hit franchise starter, The Hunger Games. This film, directed by Gary Ross, co-written by Ross, Billy Ray, and original novel writer Suzanne Collins, stars Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Woody Harrelson, Lenny Kravitz, Stanley Tucci, Wes Bentley, Donald Sutherland, Elizabeth Banks, and Liam Hemsworth. Every year, the 12 districts of Pan Am send one boy and one girl between the ages of 12 and 18 to fight in an epic battle to the death, but only one can emerge victorious. Keep in mind that I haven't read these books, so I'm not going to say anything about this as an adaptation, like I would with the Harry Potter films, for example. Just on its merits as a film specifically. I hated this movie. I'm sorry, I'm just putting it out there. I hate The Hunger Games. First of all, the #1 rule in filmmaking, show don't tell. How do we start this movie? Big text cards. That's the worst thing you could possibly do when you're making a movie, is start off with a bunch of text. Nobody wants to read big walls of text. Show them. Have them watch the film, not read the film, yeah? Especially when this big wall of text is repeated with, what's that? A video. Yes, that's right. They show a video at the reaping that is exactly the same thing that they express in the wall of text in the beginning of the film. So just cut the wall of text. You're good to go. My second problem with this film, cinematography and the editing. What were they on in the edit bay? I mean, the cinematography, the whole thing is just shaky cam, and then the editing is just like bam, 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 bam. You can't, the whole movie is basically a bunch of people fighting in the woods, and it's like watching Transformers, you know? You can't tell up from down, right from wrong, and what's going on. I don't know. How's anybody supposed to know? Steven Soderbergh, the great filmmaker that he is responsible for some of the second unit direction on this. You'd think it would look a little bit better than it does, you know? A little less Blair Witch, a little more, you know, just solid. Be solid. Stay on one thing for more than 5 seconds. It's not gonna kill you. The film also had a lot of problems with its tone. This is a movie about teenagers killing each other. For the most part, it's not supposed to be funny, and yet the audience that I saw it with was laughing pretty much throughout the film. I don't think I need to explain why that's a problem. I'll give you the Haymitch character had some pretty good funny moments, but overall, not a comedy, guys. Don't laugh. If they're laughing, that's a problem with the script, that's a problem with the execution. Most of all though, a lot of stuff in this film just doesn't get explained. I mean, don't get me wrong, look, the film is 2.5 hours as it is, and the pacing is just whew. You know, you don't get a second to just sit and have stuff happen organically. It's just boom, and then it's over. And a lot gets sacrificed. Like, Elizabeth Banks is in this movie. I would tell you her character's name, but the movie doesn't, so I don't feel the need to either. After she's announced everybody's name at the reaping, she just kind of hangs out. She doesn't really do anything. She's just there. Why is she there? I don't know. The movie doesn't seem to know. Maybe the book knows, but you know, that didn't make it to the final cut. And there's a scene where there are dogs, and the dogs just like pop out of the ground from nothing. You'd think they would explain something like that, you know, creating dogs out of nothing. If you're going to have the Hunger Games be a controlled environment, which again, did not get mentioned, it just kind of happens, I'll give you put cameras in the trees. I'll maybe even give you that you can bring the trees down whenever you feel like it. And I might even give you the fact that you can make actual fire happen, even though you've already said in this movie that fake fire exists. But something doesn't come from nothing. This film is set, apparently, through the extra research that I've done, apparently it's set in the future of America. Like, Pan Am is us in the future after there's been this big old war, and the government reminds us, hey, don't have another war, or else. And that's what the Hunger Games are all about. Weird, but yeah. So this takes place in the future of here, and you wouldn't know it except everybody speaks English, but meh. Anyway, just lots of stuff going on. No time to stop and explain any of it. The one good thing about this movie is Jennifer Lawrence. She's had a great career so far. You know, she was in X-Men First Class, she did Winter's Bone before that, and she had two great little indie films last year, The Beaver and Like Crazy. And her character in Winter's Bone, which was her first big debut role back in 2010, is pretty much Katniss without the bow. You got this teenage girl who's got a mother that isn't caring for her younger sisters, and she's out in the woods all the time, you know, cooking up animals and stuff. Give her the bow, she becomes Katniss Everdeen. So, great casting decision. She does a great job acting. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie Unfortunately, the rest of the movie does not live up to those standards. Which is why I'm going to have to give it a sad 2 out of 5 kids destined to die. I'll link to my last review of 21 Jump Street up over there, and my next review, Mirror Mirror, will be linked up over there. I've got the Facebook, the Twitter, Tumblr. Make sure you're following me in all those places. Subscribe to the channel, like, favorite the video. You guys know how to do this by now. And obviously, I know I'm in the extreme minority of people who didn't care for this movie, so go ahead, let me have it in the comments. Fade to black.